divisions are out of property. So we've got two sprinkler guys. Got somebody doing mulching, I think. He was here. Oh, there he is. Of course, he's mulching an area I didn't want him to do till later. But anyway, so we've got some garden workers, sprinkler guys. We should have some mower guys here. Hey, are they still here mowing?
No.
They left?
Yeah.
Ah,
Like 20 minutes ago.
okay. How's it going? Hey, remember this part right here should be done soon.
Okay.
You know, so
This and that. And also this one.
yeah, just wherever the customers, because usually in the backyard more than anything else.
Yeah.
What's up, Fernando? Don't know if I ever showed you my sprinkler mobile. So I'm still waiting for the sign guy to call me and tell me he's ready for my van, but we did get it painted. And I didn't want to get a truck for sprinklers. Just because the amount of driving that's involved, and and then you need to kind of get to everything easily. I was hoping to just pull up to a house, have everything there. I know you can do that with a truck too, and this isn't ideal either, but it works for us for now. My plan was to buy this van and to weld shelves in here so that we can have all the parts we want. I actually wanted to spend a couple thousand in parts just to always have this van stocked, but I'm not really good at drawing up a plan to do this, so I don't know what I'm gonna end up doing, or maybe just buy bigger boxes and chests or something so that we can store all the parts. But anyway, it's actually been working out pretty good. And it's really a gas saver too. So remember the exterior pest control house I did, and I had a video with the grass. Wasn't looking very good, so I felt like I'd do a little update on this lawn. So what happened was there were some wires that were cut from the valve box, and so it caused it that the timer wasn't turning this station on, and so that's why it started dying. And by the time we realized what was happening, it was pretty far gone, like you saw in that video. So I just wanted to update. There's still a little dry spot here and over there, but for the most part it's coming back. Maybe a couple more weeks and it should all be filled in, I'm hoping. So anyway, no big deal. I just wanted to update that to let you know I don't like to see those lawns dry and yellow like that, but I was working on it. These dry spots are the bane of my existence right now. Today is a cool 90 degrees. So it's actually cooler than it has been the last couple 2 or 3 weeks. It's been about 104, 103 most days, and so these dry spots are popping up everywhere. And I have customers that are just really pissed off at me because, like, for instance, this customer pays a lot of money to make sure everything is green, growing good, flowers. The flowers here, took a dive because they haven't been getting water. Now this one in particular, they're having construction in the back, so they actually had the water turned off, and they have dogs that bit the valve boxes and broke all the wires in some of the valve boxes, so some of the lawns weren't getting watered. And so I still take some of the blame because they pay us to make sure this lawn looks good all the time. And I should have caught it. I should have known something was not quite right. So anyway, I'm going through all the zones, making sure coverage is good, adding more times to the water, to the timer. And hopefully this, when you guys see this again, it's gonna look a lot better. Literally 2 days later, and the dry spots are still here, but they are going away really fast. I am really happy with the looks of these right now. Customer's house, and I see this sign, so it looks like I'm replacing the weed man. Sorry guys. That looks so much better. My first service call, and to be honest with you, the customer wasn't really even upset. They just had some questions. They had some dry spots. Like this, and they're just wondering what we can do. This has some kind of crabgrass growing through it. And so he thought maybe he'd like to have another application on it. I think it's mainly more of a watering issue. I think aeration could help here. I would say this visit, service call is warranted. There's definitely enough weeds that we should be out here spraying again for sure. But as far as the color goes, I'm pretty happy with it. This lawn was pretty dry when we first started out this year. So pretty happy with the color. It was really thin. So it's still a little thin, but it's a lot thicker than it was. And I'm sure that has a lot to do with soil conditioner that we've put on here. So I am here spraying a customer's lawn, and there we go, our very favorite dry spots. Although not a complaint from this customer, because as you can see, all the neighbors kind of have issues, and ours looks nice and green. There is some crabgrass that I'm about to treat with my trusty backpack. So yeah, they weren't very hard to see here. Crabgrass usually stands out. It's a lot more kind of like fluorescent green. They're usually around the corners of where the concrete is, because they like the heat. So I'm just gonna try and get all of them. I guess I'll go in the back here, show you these dry spots. So while I was here, going along with our little discussion about what to do when we see dry spots, so I came back here, did a little walkthrough, saw some dry spots. So I went through all the zones. So this was me just going through, wondering why there's dry spots. So I turned the sprinkler station on, went through all the zones, and for the most part there was good coverage. But this one I put a little blue flag here because it's missing a nozzle. So as you can see, the water comes out really heavy just right here. It doesn't go out any further, and that's only like, I don't know, 10 feet, 8 to 10 feet out. So we have to come back and put a nozzle in there, and the water should shoot out where it's struggling over there. There are other sprinklers that do touch that. So for the meantime, I up the water 15 minutes, and I think that's gonna help a lot if I don't get back here soon. But all we gotta do is just come back here and put a nozzle in that rotor, and it should be fine. Like this. This one makes it so you can pop these sprinklers up. There it is. So it's definitely going out further now. So, and then I moved some sprinklers over there on these dry spots. And this too should come back, because now I've got 2 sprinklers hitting this area, and it'll still be covering all the rest that is already green, but I just added more time. So, and I did that everywhere you see a dry spot. So I don't know, I just thought to myself, it wouldn't hurt me to check it, and so that's what I did. Now I did see a lot of crabgrass over on this side, so I will show you that. Boom, right here. So now the lawn was wet, so this crabgrass is a little wet, so I'm putting a little bit, laying it a little heavier than I normally would, just because it's wet, but it will do the trick. You can kind of see the crabgrass is starting to spread into the middle of the lawn, and as long as I put a little barrier here, should be all right. There's some purslane. I hate this weed. This weed right here, if you pull a leaf off and throw it, like right here, a new plant will grow with roots and everything. And that is purslane. So a lot of people, this shows up in a lot of veggie gardens, and a lot of people till it to try to get rid of it, and all they're doing is just spreading it, so it becomes like a sod layer of purslane. So you got to watch out for that one. In fact, the only way to kill that weed is chemicals. No other way of doing it. I mean, unless there's like some vinegar or concoction like that I don't know about. It's just easier to spray it with some Roundup. All right, on to the next. By the way, I paid my profit account back. Oh, it hurt to put all that money back, take it out of the operating fund, and put it back into another account. Even though I didn't technically spend it, it still hurts to do that. That's why you don't want to ever have to do that. Here is an example of one of those lawns that is just, we would call dying. The customer would say, my lawn is dying. Not really sure what is going on. We've had issues with the timer. We've replaced it. Pretty much thought that would be the end of the problem, but it's been watering for a few weeks. And well, maybe not a few weeks, maybe a week and a half, and it's still not looking good. So I'm just gonna do a quick walkthrough. So when I got here, the sprinklers were on, and it was 12:13. p.m. So I don't know if like whoever programmed these programmed them wrong, but I checked and it was not programmed wrong. So I'm going to turn on each station and see if we're getting pressure. Okay, so I checked everything again. It's 12:15 p.m. I'm gonna turn on the stations. So I'll start with number 1. And here we go. Is this back section, and this little sprinkler won't pop up. That's telling me there's not very good pressure. Although looking around, I mean, I can tell it doesn't have good sprinklers to start with anyway, but the pressure is there. Here's another one where that sprinkler's popped up all the way and it's just not popping up high enough to wet over here. So we're definitely having coverage issues. But the weird thing is, I mean, there's still, like here, it's watering really good and it's still dry as hell. It's really soggy right here. I would not be surprised if there's a break under here or a sprinkler that's well, I kept looking with my hand, kept feeling, digging with my little trusted Leatherman, and I found a leak here, or a break. And I know that it's causing a problem because when I press it, I can feel the pressure on those sprinklers go up higher. So this needs to be repaired. I'm gonna have to schedule this. It's drained out. You can see the pipe that has a gash in it. So it looks like there's some wires there too. So what I'm gonna try to do is just cut this right there in the middle and then put a nipple right in between the two and kind of connect them again. So hopefully this is an easy fix. I cut it, and here's my nipple. So I cut it, hoping that this is going to be long enough, and here's the nipple that I'm going to use to connect the two. So I'm going to put this in here, press it in as hard as I can, and then I'm just going to get this side and put it in here and just try and connect the two that way. But I need both hands, so there it is. Connected the two. Now I'm gonna try to press both sides this way to kind of squeeze it in a little bit better, but I just wanted you guys to see what I meant by connecting the two. So the tightest I could get them. So here we go. Let's see if this works. Turn the sprinklers on and fix the leak. It is not leaking anymore. It's that simple. I think the pressure is a little better. Here's that same sprinkler. It still needs to be probably cleaned out a little bit. Knife again here. See how there's kind of that gap in the middle there? I'm just gonna take my knife, clean it a little bit. And there, it's got a full arc now. And it's back again. Sometimes there's little rocks in there that just need to be pulled out. There you go. So while I'm here, I'm noticing something else here now. Big puddle right here. There's a broken sprinkler. Actually feels like something I could just screw back in. I'm gonna try. Nope. It won't come out. If I could just somehow pull this broken piece out, I'll be able to screw it back in. But I don't think I have that tool with me. Anyway, I think once I fix that, that may help a lot of the coverage here too. Now, see, that's something I wouldn't have found out until I fixed that leak. So that's how sprinklers are, man. You fix one thing just to find another. Here you go with my trusted knife again. I was able to take it out. You really need to get one of these. I bought this one specifically at a sprinkler store. So King Innovation iTool. It's got a bunch of tools that are designed for sprinklers. So anyway, maybe I'll go into that another time, but let me get this off and try and screw this back into the ground. Hopefully it's that easy. Easy fix. So now there's definitely good coverage. Looks like it's all gonna get wet. All that dry area is gonna fill back in. So there's a couple of breaks that just caused the pressure to weaken, especially with that brake. Anything past that one wasn't turning on. So I'm a lot happier now. Here on zone 3, I'm actually really confused because there's great sprinkler coverage and it looks probably the worst part of the property. So I'm just really confused. But I mean, at this point, all I can really do is just program it, and just make sure that it's actually nobody's turning it off. I don't know what else to do here. I mean, good coverage, no reason this should be dry, unless it's not getting turned on. So I don't know. I just got back from buying some herbicides, and my chemical supplier was hearing me out. I was venting a little bit about all the dry spots, and he said that I should try this. It's called Back to Green. This is a product that my supplier actually makes. So it's able to be relatively cheap. It was 15 bucks for this 50-pound bag. Yeah, and it covers 10,000 square feet. Now, he said that he's actually seen this put down on 3,000 square feet. So he's basically telling me you can't burn the lawn. He said don't dump it all in one pile on the lawn. It will do something, but if you spread it thick, evenly, you should be fine. And he says that this has, a wetting agent. It has, what else? It has a blend of, I'm not sure what the DPW is, but it's got some iron to green up. But it's also, the wetting agent is important because it keeps the moisture held in the ground. And so that allows the roots to have more water. It's got like some waste, I believe that's what that is, like compost kind of thing. So a lot of organic mix. I believe this is an organic mix. He was telling me about it, but I couldn't remember. So I'm gonna test this out on one of the lawns. I'm only gonna do half. I'm gonna do half of a lawn, just so that we can see the difference side by side. And then I'm gonna do another property that I'm hoping this works so that it'll come back, the whole thing will come back. I want all my properties to come back, but for a test purposes, I'm only gonna do one of them half, and then I'm gonna use the rest of the bag on another property that I need to get back up to green status. So anyway, I'm gonna need my Boss spreader. And I'm gonna load this up and head out. Okay, so here's the front. I'm gonna spread with the, what is it called? Back to green. I'm gonna cover this area and half of this front, so I can drive by it and see my line, and so I can kind of see how fast this product works, or if it even does work at all, and compare it to the other side. Now, it kind of looks like this side's a little greener already, probably because of the shade. But I'm still just gonna do a straight, well, it won't be straight, but I'm gonna do a line from the sidewalk all the way to the house, and I'm gonna do this right side. And I'll do this side too, so hopefully it comes back fast. And let's see how this works. So I just opened it, and it looks dark, like granular compost or something, or granular humic acid. Oh, where am I? Right here. So it's real. I wasn't expecting it to be dark, but I guess that makes sense. Really organic. So that white stuff's from my last fertilizer batch. Okay, so I'm gonna pour this and start spreading. So as you saw, I put it on pretty thick. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna turn the water on and try and water it in so I get the process going. I'm a little impatient. So it's July 13, and I'm leaving this property now. So I'm gonna check on it every day and hopefully get a good update. There's another one that's just, ugh. I just did a soil probe, and the lawn is saturated, even these dry spots. I mean, I've been having them run for about 2 hours a day, and it's probably been 4 days now, maybe 3. So there's like a good 6 to 8 inches of water saturation in even the dry spots. So as far as watering goes, we're doing everything we need to, and I just put the rest of that back to green mix in all these dry spots. So hopefully this comes back.